Take a partially loaded magazine and replace it with a fully loaded magazine so that your gun is always in the best condition possible to do whatever you need to do. So what is a tactical reload? It's just topping off. It sounds more tactical than it is. Go figure why. Tactical reload, I just want you to think topping off. Tactical reload is one of two main styles of reloading. The other one is going to be an emergency reload. When I have shot all the ammunition in my magazine, my slide locks to the rear, I dump the old magazine because this is now useless, and I reload it with a fresh magazine and get back to work. Now, why is it important to know how to tactically reload? Well, we should be responsible for always keeping our firearm in a ready-to-use condition. Whether we're talking about being in a competition or a self-defense situation, if we are executing an emergency reload, we are in a position where we need the gun to be working and it is no longer operational until we can fix the problem with a new magazine. So we want to get in the habit of, when you're practicing, you're training, always keep an eye on how much ammunition is in the gun. You got to be present, got to be aware of your situation. And when a free moment presents itself, take that opportunity to execute a tactical reload. Top it off. Basically take a partially loaded magazine and replace it with a fully loaded magazine so that your gun is always in the best condition possible to do whatever you need to do. How do we do it? Very, very simple. So, now none of these magazines are actually loaded because I'm doing this in the house, but in your case, you have shot a few rounds, bang, bang, bang. You have a break point. You have the ability, you have another magazine that is fully loaded, either on your person, on the bench where you're shooting, you name it. Take the opportunity to get rid of the old, put in the new. The way you do that is, you take your new full magazine and you put it right in between your index and your middle finger. If you want to go in between your middle finger and your ring finger, it's no skin off my nose. I like to go middle finger, index finger. That's where I'm going to grip the next magazine. When I pick it up, I put it right like that. That leaves the thumb and the index finger, that little gap right there, wide open. And that's where I'm going to put the old magazine. I'm then going to switch, load the new one in, and I'm going to save the old magazine, right? Just because this is not the ideal magazine to have in your gun, because it's only partially loaded, doesn't mean that we want to just chuck it away like with an emergency reload. We might need these rounds later. So hang on to them. Put them in a pocket, put them in a magazine holder if you've got one on your person, but don't get in the habit of just throwing those away. And then you get right back to shooting. That's a tactical reload. New magazine with the bullet facing towards what is essentially the back of your hand or facing away from you as you hold it up in front of you. Old magazine out, new magazine in, old magazine gets stowed somewhere on your person to use it later if you need to. Simple as that. Practice this at the house with empty magazines. Practice it on the range when you're actually shooting live ammunition. Get used to taking advantage of free time to top off and keep that gun in good working order. Now, one quick note before I go. By nature of doing a tactical reload, you are replacing a half-filled magazine with a full magazine while you're in the middle of shooting. So your chamber is going to be loaded. If the magazine you are replacing your half-empty magazine with is fully loaded, you're going to have a spring under a heck of a lot of pressure in here. You're going to have no free room up in that chamber. So reloading might prove a little bit tricky. You might really have to give a little love to that new magazine when you're putting it in there. That's a-okay. Something I like to do if I'm executing a tactical reload to make sure that my new magazine is seated properly is I'll drop the old, load the new, and give it a little pull on the way out. Make sure that I fully seated it in there properly. As long as that magazine doesn't come out when you pull on it, you've likely loaded it properly and you're good to go. So practice that at the house, take it to the range, practice it there. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, stay smart, stay safe, never stop improving, and keep those magazines nice and full.